we have to create the right vibe, you know, the energy, and everybody at the organization has to feel so privileged to be here. It's no other way.
Thanks for listening to the Purely Arsenal podcast. Please follow us on Twitter at PurelyArsenalFP for all the latest Arsenal podcasts.
Welcome to another edition of a Purely Arsenal sit-down podcast. We're here to review the beating of Chelsea at the Emirates Stadium, as always. And I'm joined by Neil Shah. How are you doing, Neil?
Hey, Jack, I'm all right. I think we've got a really good run going against them, haven't we? Something 7 games?
Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah,
it's a great run. But yeah, I'm good, Jack. How are you?
Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, we just beat them all the time. I think there's some stat going out there that Mikel Arteta's beaten this manager 3 times in about 50 days, and he's only just joined Chelsea, and it's I think he's had 11 wins against Chelsea, more than any other club, and it's been about 5 years since they've beaten us. So yeah, just some fantastic stats coming out on that. You know, it wasn't. We're going to get into it. It wasn't a great performance, but we do feel a little bit nervous at the Emirates. We'll get into that as well. But really, at this point, it really is important to get the 3 points. And I think if you look at it as a whole, I spoke to my dad offline about it. I said, after that Wolves game, I think we're all very, very nervous going into the Tottenham away game and the Chelsea game. 2 massive games, let's be honest. I mean, sure, at that point, you know, the gap was what the gap is now. But I think City fans and a lot of other fans would have looked at that going, oh, they've got Tottenham away and Chelsea at home next, and City have got, you know, Leeds and whatnot. You know, they had much easier fixtures than us. So to come through that with 6 points is absolutely massive. So I think that is truly the big takeaway. But obviously we've got to evaluate performance. Neil, the team stayed as it was, and I think that was fair. I don't think any of us even mentioned it. We kind of knew that. The only thing we saw was Havertz replacing Odegaard in the squad. Hopefully Odegaard's is not too bad, but again, a player that's suffering from far too many little niggles and knocks for me. But really good to see Kai Havertz back. Such a crucial part of the team, and been out for so long. And you know, it's been unbelievable, really, that we've gone without him for this long. But hopefully he's back now and back for good. Let's see. He played a little bit of a part today, so we'll come in there. Neil, going up against Chelsea, I mean, big game for them. They've got to get Champions League football. It would be an absolute travesty if they didn't get Champions League football. Spent 2 billion, 74 different managers. This one's the bigger boat than the last, and so on and so on. So you knew going up against them. I had no feeling going up against them it wasn't going to be a tough game. All the games against them this season have been tough. You know, they played better than us with 10 men over at their place, and we got a point. And the 2 League Cup games, even though we beat them in both, were tricky games, you know. So I knew it was going to be tough. What did you think? Let's talk a little bit about the first half performance, Neil. I mean, I think it is a little bit of a game of 2 halves. I thought we started okay, not too bad, but and obviously we got the goal. And you know, set pieces again were absolutely crucial. So maybe touch on that a little bit. But overall, it was a good start. Felt at 20 minutes, it was relatively the way we wanted it to go. But then things changed after that, Neil.
Yeah. So I thought, you know, obviously with the buoyancy after beating Tottenham, and really well actually. I wasn't at all worried about this game, Jack. I know they're a tough game. I know it's always going to be edgy because it is Chelsea, but I had no fears of one. That's why I gave quite a positive prediction. I just thought, I think we're going to floor them. I think more so not on how they're playing. I was judging it on how we would be after such a great performance against Tottenham. And I think you're right. I think initially I was with the team. I was very pleased that he hadn't tinkered with it. All right, Odegaard. Now it's a bit of an unknown. Now, if Odegaard had been fit, it'd be interesting to have known if hypothetically would he have started, but I mean that was completely taken away from the manager. So there was no there's nothing really else to say. But I was pleased for Eze because of his performance. To be fair. And I think you're right. I think initially we started off quite energised and quite up for it, and I think we were taking the game to them. And I think there was some chances. I'm not going to say there was anything clear cut. I can't quite remember. You could correct me if I'm wrong. I think there might have been one or two nice little moves in there, and we just didn't finish them off. But I can't remember exactly who it was and how it happened. But I just remember feeling comfortable. That's what I'm going to say. And I thought that is so important in a game like this, just to carry that momentum on. And then, of course, yeah, I mean, but it was short-lived. I'm going to be completely honest. It was short-lived. I mean, the second half we're going to talk about, which I thought was absolutely abject. But I think the feeling of comfort was short-lived, and I think that was after they equalised in the first half. But the first goal, I mean, I don't know if you want to touch on it now or you want to.
Yeah,
speak.
I mean, you're right. There wasn't a lot before the goal. They had a couple of half chances. The one thing I noticed before the goal was they were a little bit troubling us from set pieces. They had a set piece, it deflected, and Sarr had a free shot, and he completely miscued it. I don't know if you remember. He goes for his left foot, and I was like, whoa. It was probably my first wake-up text after about 6 minutes. And then they had, they were doing this near-post corner thing, and we weren't seeming to handle it that well, and that's eventually how their goal comes. So we'll come back to that. But I think we were troubled a little bit by Reece James's corners. I think his corners were very good. He's a good player.
Sorry, just for you to carry on. I remember now it it's coming to me. I remember Palmer getting a lot of space, and he was the one that I was thinking.
Yeah, he had a shot wide.
Why are we giving him so much room? So I do remember that. Yeah, that's come back to me. Yeah.
Luckily, he never shows up against us, which is fantastic. So, but yeah, you're right. We were, and he's got quality. So, the corner comes from a really good move from Timber and Saka. I think Timber hits it into Enzo Fernandez's chest, and it goes out for a corner. And then I don't think Saka was good. I thought our front three were all really, really poor. You could take your pick about which one you were upset with the most at half time. For me, I think there's an argument to say Gyökeres offered the most out of the front three in the first half. He was making some good runs into the channels, but I thought he was really poor when he got the ball. He had a one-on-one with Chalobah that Chalobah handled him pretty well. He had another one where he kind of lost the ball and then sort of, I think, maybe dived for a penalty a little bit. So I was disappointed in there. Trossard was just dreadful on the ball. And Saka going up against, Cucurella wasn't there. Hato's an inexperienced left back. I think we should be expecting more from Saka going down the right. I thought he was very, very good against Tottenham. And I thought he was poor in this one, to be honest. But in saying that, he provides a really good corner for our 1-2 from our centre backs. Brazilian 1970 couldn't even do that. Stuff, Neil, and it's an unbelievable leap from Gabriel. You've got to say it's just people are going to moan about set pieces, that there. No one had anything to say when we scored 4 open play goals last week, by the way, But it's an unbelievable. He gets beyond Reece James, and he looks like he leaps about 3 foot higher than everybody. I mean, it's just an incredible leap from Gabriel. And we do have a really good knack for these deep back post corners. We've done it so many times, and it was a typical Arsenal goal. It was a goal that we needed, and hopefully you felt at that point. I think it sounded like it settled the crowd a little bit, but it didn't seem to settle the team, Neil.
No, I think I was thinking about this yesterday after I watched the match of the day, and I thought, how many times do you hear a centre back assist another centre back for a goal? First and foremost, it's quite rare. And then I was thinking, but if you put it into context, actually, the bizarre thing is with us, because they have been involved in quite a lot over the last few years, especially Gabriel, it's not actually unusual. I mean, if you go back all these years ago when we were watching Arsenal, when we had the Invincibles, we had Wenger, and maybe even before that, for two centre backs being involved in a goal, especially against Chelsea, it's almost unheard of. And then also it's like, and then coming back off from a game where it was all the forwards that were involved in the 4 goals that we scored. So but to be honest, it's not that surprising because of the way they've been doing it. Gabriel's been, I think, involved. He's got 25 goal assists or goal involvements now since he's joined Arsenal. It's something quite high.
Yeah, he's got 7 goals and assists this season,
and
which is higher than Bert's and some very big attacking players.
It's really up there. There's a mad stat that I quickly read yesterday night, but it's madness what he's involved in, and I think this is what he does, and I think it did ease the pressure, because I think you're right. Off the fans, anyway, the crowd, you could feel it. I mean, we weren't there. I know John was there, your brother was there, but you could feel that there was some tension, and there would be, because we know that we're under the cosh. We went into this game exactly how we went into the game against Tottenham, because Man City again had put the pressure on us by getting the win. So we potentially thinking, God, this could be 2 points only after this game, or 3 points ahead of them. So we needed to get another win. So the pressure's there, and the fans felt it. But the goal was great. Gabriel leapt up for it, and it goes to Saliba, directs it towards goal. But I think it gets a deflection, doesn't it, off one of their players?
It does, but he gets the goal, doesn't he? Yeah.
But he does get the goal because it was still goal bound. Yeah, no. If you look at the angle, it was clearly going to go in. If you remove the defender or whoever it was going in. So the trajectory of the ball was right. So he was correctly accredited for it. But yes, I think in terms of delivery, you can't argue even that one, and even the one later. I think that was Rice. The deliveries are spot on, mate. They're brilliant. We can't argue against that. Whatever is lacking in the forwards, you can't argue about. In this case, Saka's delivery, it was fantastic. And this was, as you said, further out rather than a near post one. This was a far further out, but it was still dealt with perfectly. And I don't know if they were moaning about anything in the first goal. I know for the second goal they were, but I don't know if they were moaning about the first goal.
Yeah, I mean, they constantly moan, don't they? That's why they keep getting red cards, because they can't they lose their edge. Chelsea. I mean, if you stay steady long enough, Chelsea will lose their heads. But and that's what we've basically done in all the games we've played them this season. I don't think we've been particularly good in any of the games we've played them. Maybe the away first leg against them in the League Cup, we were very dominant in that. But beyond that, we've kind of just gone, they're going to screw up here, and let's just wait for him to do it, kind of thing. Which, to be honest, from our perspective, we look at it and we go, oh, we look nervous, we look tetchy, we're not playing our football, this, that and the other. But I think that's what we've done largely, because they got a lot of silly players and they got a silly manager, and that's what we're waiting for. You can come out and say, this, that and the other about his discipline and how annoyed he is, etc. I think, if people say the nervousness and things like that stems a little bit from Arteta, I think a lot of that stems from the manager as well, really, in terms of discipline. Arteta imagine how much we'd be being ruined if we'd had, they had 8 red cards this season or something. Imagine if there'd be 9, is it 9? There'd be a shutdown, Neil, in England. Honestly, every global media outlet, you'd be hearing about it on GMTV and stuff like that. It'd be unbelievable. You wouldn't have regular news. You wouldn't have it. There's no way you'd have it if we'd had that many red cards. Unbelievable how little it gets discussed, doesn't it? Just sort of like, oh, Chelsea had another red card anyway, moving on. But yeah, it's quite incredible. But Neil, I mean, yeah, like you said, I mean, at that point, it was a little bit like the Man U home game. You look at it and go 1-0 up early in the game. Let's go on from here, let's be confident, let's play. We were the better team in the first half for me. It wasn't a load in it, but I think, and we did play a little bit, that was the point before their equaliser, that we started to get the ball. Eze had that long range shot, obviously, that went out for a corner but never got given, which was ridiculous, where he tried to score from the halfway line. Gyökeres, we got in behind a few times, which should have been leading to an opening and a chance, but he, for some reason, couldn't get his pass off or shot off. I think on the first one, he should have laid it off to Eze, and he didn't. He tried to shoot, kind of deflected and that, but he should have laid it off for me. The second one, I think the second one is it the second one that's a long ball from Rice? I think it is a long ball from Rice, and he does well to get onto it, but again he just that's the one that deflects. That's the one that deflects and ends up going just Timber sort of playing it back to the goalkeeper. But we started to play a little bit better at that point. But then they had that little set piece melee. Now on the first set piece, Neil, before the goal, there's an argument from them that Rice handballed the ball. And I have to say, I think he's a little lucky, because he's over Pedro, He's a little bit, you getting your arms around someone, you're asking for trouble. I don't think that's a penalty in itself, because that's happening everywhere in the box, from their players to us, our players to them. It's really hard to keep a track on that. The reason I say I think he's a little lucky on the handball is because he turns his head away from the ball, and he kind of looks like he lifts his left arm towards it. I think what saves him is him turning his head away. If he's looking directly at that and he does that, I think they probably say handball. But because he's turned his head away, which is the same as what happened for Man City against Leeds, theirs is worse in my opinion yesterday, because it comes from a way bigger height, and Nunes turns his head away and looks down and it hits his arm. But it's similar. But what I think is worse, just to sort of play devil's advocate to make sure people aren't forgetting, is the Fofana one in the League Cup, where he goes up with two arms and stops Hincapié heading the ball. And I actually think that one's more of a penalty. But I think we're a little lucky it's not given as a penalty. Do you agree with that? Would you?
Yeah. I was really worried. I saw it. I thought, oh no, here we go. I think we were. I think another day that could have quite easily been given, and I'm quite surprised actually, Jack, because we were a little bit lucky with Gabriel, weren't we, in the Tottenham game, and that was at a crucial point. And then again, very next game it happens again, and I'm thinking, God, are they sure do they know that they're officiating an Arsenal team?
Right.
Because it's true though, isn't it? In the past, every single decision has always gone against us. Yeah. And these two quite easily could have gone against us as well, Jack. Let's be honest. Yeah. I personally thought we were lucky, really lucky, because this is always the angle of the elbow. It's literally like this. Yeah. It's what hit it full on. That's what causes it to go. Isn't that the save? That one of the saves that Raya makes, by the way. It's kind of
from the arm. It's an unbelievable save, Neil. It's an unbelievable save. I mean, it really is. Unfortunately, they score from the resulting one. This is where the penalty conversation is absolutely pointless on their part, because they can't have a penalty but then score from the resulting corner from the arm.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, I get it. If you're annoyed with the penalty, absolutely. If you're trying to claim that is a reason that things happened in the game, no, you got absolutely everything you can get from that, because you scored from the resulting set piece. Correct. If you wanted a penalty as well, you wouldn't have had the resulting set piece that you scored from. So
exactly, yeah, no, that's
it's kind of eradicates it. I agree. We're lucky to get away with it. Yeah. But it kind of eradicates.
But that was a great save by Ray. That was first. Save, I don't know if that was the first one of his whole catalogue of world-class saves, but I think that certainly was.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a great save.
It was.
His reactions, I think, are. Look, I'm going to say, Jack. I'm not as well versed as you, maybe James and Michael, on other footballing around the world. But I will be shocked and stunned if there's a better goalkeeper at the moment around. I mean, there are excellent goalkeepers, but his almost like array of skills. Show-stopping, distribution, awareness, the whole lot, the whole plethora. I can't see him not being at least in the top 5, if not the top 3, and then if not the best in the world at the moment. Just fantastic. But yeah, I mean, then it results in another. But just before we talk about that, did we not have a scare a bit even earlier on where it kind of hit the side of the net, and I actually thought that was a goal? Very similar.
That's what I'm saying. That was what I was saying. That was actually in the sort of first 20 minutes. I know exactly.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, that's the one. Right. I think it's coming together now.
They noticed an issue. They put every one of their corners into the front post, and I found it a bit odd the way we were positionally lining up, because typically we put our striker as the first man. And I thought on their goal, I thought, why is Hincapié there? Why is he there? Because if Kai Havertz is playing, that's Kai Havertz there.
100%.
Always there. I thought, where's Gyökeres? And Gyökeres is somewhere in the middle of the goal, grappling with Enzo Fernandez, I think. Yeah. And I thought, that's weird from us. Have we changed something, or have they done something to cause that change? And I found it weird, and it's not great from Hincapié. I thought Hincapié was one of the players to come out with a bit of credit from this game, to be honest, because I think defensively he was very good. But it's not great from him, because he gets a head on it, but not enough of a head on it, and he flicks it in, doesn't he, really? And, you know, everyone's delighted at that point for an own goal set piece, oddly enough. The whole media find an own goal set piece this time around absolutely fantastic to see. Obviously, I sort of felt the energy from Graham Lasso on my feed. I'm sure you felt it from Gary Neville.
Don't even get me started on Neville.
Yeah, it's interesting where you sort of, when we score goals like that, you hear it, but I was like, oh, that's interesting. There's so much energy about this set piece own goal. I wonder why that would be, but yeah, that's interesting. But again, I wouldn't say it was coming, but you know, you felt a little bit. We weren't handling their set pieces very well, and we didn't feel super confident on them. And I do think it was they targeted our front post a little bit, and we didn't seem to be able to handle it. Obviously, with the issue with the Rice one, where he didn't handle it. Somewhere within that, there was the David Raya punch, where they felt that was a penalty. I think that's a ridiculous belief that should be a penalty. David Raya has come out, he's punched the ball with two hands. Yes, he's connected with Pedro, after it. I think he's very, very faintly caught Pedro, like barely caught him. And I think Pedro has made an absolute meal of that. And we know what Pedro's like with head injuries because we saw it at Brighton a few years back when Saliba, bumped his head and he flew down and got a penalty. And I at that point, I went, you know exactly what you're doing there, Pedro. You're not hurt at all, because if it's a proper head injury, let's be honest, you're staying down, and you're not hurt at all. I'm sure there's a little bit of a connection with you there, but that's a great punch from Raya, and I'd want him to do it again, to be honest, because there's nothing wrong with that at all. So that one, not at all. Rice, yeah, definitely, but in their sense, justice was served because they scored from the result of 1. Yeah, and we go in at half-time, Neil, and I wouldn't say... we went in at 1-1. I was sitting there at half-time thinking, we went in at 1-1 last week against Tottenham, and I felt much calmer, actually, in the derby. And the reason I felt calmer is because we were playing much better. We were playing much better against Tottenham. We were dominating the game. We were creating chances at will, and I thought, just keep doing that, and we're going to be fine. But in this one, it felt a bit more Man U-like, and I was like, I was watching it going, this is going to be a horrible half here. And we came out in the second half, Neil, and it was a really poor start by us again in the second half. And I mean, I don't know. We're really nervous at home at the moment. There's just no getting away from it. We are really, really nervous at home, especially in big games. But we're really nervous at home. I spoke to my brother straight after the game about this, and he went, "Look, Jack, we've not won the league for 22 years. We've not got a lot of players in the squad that have won it, and that is going to weigh on them at this point, and that is just got to be expected." I said, "Yes, I get that, but some of it, I feel, especially when you see when they go down to 10 men and how much we sort of revert back and they have much more of the ball and things like that, you just feel that nervousness is creeping in to the team, to the point where legs feel heavy. Declan Rice is coming off at 60 minutes after a week off. Lactic acid, hopefully that's all that is, building into the legs. But, we can't connect our passes. They had a few chances early in the second half. Cross from Reece James that I don't know how Cole Palmer doesn't get on the end of it. They had a shot from Enzo Fernandez from the edge that Raya does really well to parry. You felt it, didn't you, Neil? Did you feel that in the first sort of 20 minutes of the second half? You were like, you were dreading the worst.
Jack, I'm going to be honest. I mean, you said it. You reminded me of Man U. For me, it reminded me of our performance against Wolves. I thought we were abject. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't care.
The away one or the home one?
Sorry?
The away one or the home one? Because they were both... the recent one.
Yeah. I suppose that's fresher in the mind.
Yeah.
Because I was so annoyed. I think that's the worst I've felt in a long time about football. I was so bad. I don't know if you remember, I was so annoyed and livid on the chat, and I just didn't even want to ever see a second of that game again. I just switched up to get. I said, this is a joke for a team that's going for a title. And this second half reminded me of that. Yeah, I think you're right. I think also that you can make comparisons with the Man U one as well. You're completely right. But for me, I just kept thinking Wolves, because I thought that was the one that really annoyed me to a big to the nth degree, to be fair. And I just thought, we can't hold the ball. We can't string 3 passes together. We can't even get to the ball. If we're always second to everything. We're late. We look laggy. We look tired. We look out of shape. Our forwards are doing absolutely nothing at all. And the annoying thing about that, Jack, is how well they performed just in the game before. How can it change overnight?
Yeah, we've not got consistent forwards, Neil.
This is the problem. I mean,
not got consistent forwards.
Look, Michael made a point in the chat. He goes. This team, was it you or Mike? I can't remember. One of you said, I think it might be Michael, when the team if we did win the league, if we won the title, and the team of the year is picked, he goes, I can't see the forwards getting into it, which is unbelievable.
He's spot on. I didn't see that message, but he's spot on.
Yeah, that is unbelievable. And that is so telling of this game. This game is an epitome of that. Yes, you're right. Saka was a great delivery for the goal. But apart from that, where was he? What was Gyökeres doing after the game he had against Tottenham? He was an animal against Tottenham. Yeah. He was brilliant.
Disappeared in the second half here, didn't he?
Just disappeared. Trossard, the less said about him, the better.
Came off early, didn't he? Trossard,
yeah, he came off as a result.
Yeah.
I just and even Eze, the performance he put in against Tottenham. I mean, all right, I'm not going to say he was as bad as those three, but it wasn't that much better. And to be honest, you cited Hincapié, probably, and rightly so. For me, the only person that stood out was Raya in the whole game. And I know I'm jumping a bit ahead here, but they were down to 10 men. This is embarrassing, right? For me, it looked like we were the team with 10 men. We were the team with 10 men. They were the ones that were being enterprising. They were the ones that were playing as if they were playing at home. It was like we were the ones that were on the back foot. And I'm thinking, do you know what, Jack? You're spot on about this home thing. That should be our fortress to us. Champions make their home grounds their fortress. And we're almost like, we're stuttering at home. We're stuttering. Yeah. It's like, oh, God, we got all this pressure on us. Now, John makes a good point by saying, yeah, but we ain't won the league in a long time. A lot of these players haven't won anything. However, I'll put a caveat on that. We have been runners-up 3 seasons before this. So we have the experience, and some of these players have been part of that. Not all, but some of these players have been part of that. So they should know better. Mm. Yeah. And, all right, we might not be the best at being touted with a label of favourites, but we're certainly not new to it. We were arguably supposed to win the league last season, the positions we were in, and maybe even a couple of seasons before that. Mm. And now all of a sudden, oh no, but because we haven't won it. So I kind of agree and disagree with what John said there. I mean, yeah, he's right, because we haven't actually won anything. But it's not like we're brand new to this. This isn't like the first season we're challenging, is it, Jack?
No.
That's the problem.
No, I mean, in a way, Neil, I feel like that first season, it was almost like the pressure was off because no one expected to be there. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I understand what you're saying about the runners-up thing. I call it. I said it's M&M. I said it's M&M. It's manager mentality. I think part of it stems from the manager. I think there are points in seasons, whether we're in the title race or not, where we're a goal up and we revert to this type of playing, where we go to the off the ball, we drop deep, and we revert to that. And the problem with that is our defence is a little bit more leaky than it has been earlier in the season. It's not quite as, even though I actually think we're playing our best defensive back four, we are still a little bit leaky. We're conceding the odd goals here and there. We're not getting many clean sheets at the moment. We're still a little bit leaky. And the other thing, which I think goes back to the player stuff, is the mentality. And here's the thing. I mean, one thing I would say, Neil, is in the last 2 games, Man City have not been smooth sailing. I watched Man City against Leeds, and they were lucky to get the win. They could have been 2-0 down in the first 30 minutes. And against Newcastle, that was anything but controlled. I mean, Newcastle had chance after chance in the second half. They had an equaliser disallowed wrongly. There was a lot. So I think there was a big part of me as a fan, and probably you and a lot of Arsenal fans, we see it from our perspective and we go, look at that, and we're not seeing what's on the other side as much. We just see, they got 3 points again, so I think there's that. But I do think we've got to start looking at players that have got credentials within the squad, that have been there and won things. Raya being in the Spain squad to win the Euros, that's a big thing. I think that's a big thing. Hincapié winning the Bundesliga, that is a big thing. Maybe there is a big reason why Hincapié is playing a hell of a lot more than Calafiori at this point.
Good point.
Sure,
Good point.
He's fit. He's fitter. He's playing better. But that part of it, that mentality part of it, in the last sort of 10 games, that could be crucial for us. That could be crucial. Kai Havertz, Champions League winner. We need to find a way of getting him back in amongst the group. We don't have a lot of those. City probably double the amount we've got because they've got players that have been there and won it with them. True. So I think that, in my Martinelli, he not won anything, but so courageous. I think he's such a courageous footballer, Martinelli, because as much as he annoys me every time he starts, and I go, why do we give you that start that you deserve?
Everything, Jack.
What he does is, Martinelli, he to me, I don't think he's a nervous football player. I think when Martinelli comes on, he plays the same way all the time. He drives, he runs at you. And we need people that are courageous on the ball, and what I was really upset in the last 20 that we didn't have Odegaard to bring on, because I was watching it going, we need players that can be on the pitch right now that know how to put their foot on the ball, pass the ball, be controlled, because that we lost all of that. We just lost all of it. And it was, they had another near post chance after in 5 minutes into the second half. I don't remember it. Enzo Fernandez shot wide, and then they had another corner where they'd flicked it on at the near post. Striker wasn't there again, and I think it was Sarr again that hits it directly into Raya's hands. And I think I'm just like, oh my gosh,
yes, correct.
Come in here,
Yeah, correct.
And to be honest, Neil, I wouldn't say they were dominating, but our winner, definitely came against the run of play. I mean, it really did. It did. And I was so delighted when it came. I mean, I really was. And Timber, he's not the biggest, but he has got the ability to score aerial goals really well. I think he has the same amount of goals and assists as Gabriel this season in the league, 7. Again, don't think it was one of his great games, but that was a huge goal, a huge moment, really, because I think the collective felt they could score here and this could turn really bad, because I couldn't see where we were getting 2 goals from,
Oh, 100%. I didn't expect it. I was actually really surprised, pleasantly surprised, of course, but I'm going to be, and people are going to hate me for this, I didn't celebrate because I just thought we're not playing well. All the stuff about Brentford, Wolves, Man U, all came running back to mind. Even after we scored, I think this game is far, far from over because of the way we're playing. And I just thought, you know what, I'm going to hold my celebrations until the end, until the final whistle, if it remains this way, or we go on to get another goal. So I didn't celebrate. However, that doesn't mean it wasn't a relief, and it doesn't mean it wasn't a good delivery, because this was Rice this time, wasn't it? The deliveries we are putting in from set pieces,
fantastic,
is absolutely fantastic. Quality is so good. And again, the narrative's there, isn't it? Oh, here we go, set piece FC. I mean, it's boring. We scored 4 open close. I thought actually all 4 goals were great against Tottenham.
Yeah,
they were really good goals.
They were
really quality, all different in their own way, but all good goals. Not just the individual that put the ball in the end, but even the build-up in some of the cases.
Yeah. And
then so what if then we've got it in our armoury that we can actually score also from a dead ball or a set piece or whatever you want to call it? Why is that looked on negatively when it comes to us? Right? We've got it in our armoury. Why wouldn't we use it? Well, Jack, who in their right mind is going to say, as a manager or as a coach here, we're fantastic at that, but it's getting so much negative press, we're not going to do it anymore. I mean, it's nonsensical, isn't it? The way the press should be looking at it is, okay, it's not the most attractive form, but it's a weapon, and it's a good weapon, especially for a team that may be struggling. So they have to find a way. And this is what Arsenal are doing. They are finding a way. And that's what we did. We pretty much did that in the second half. We found a way, Jack, after playing, I'm going to say abject. I really am. I thought we were inept. We had nothing in. We had, if you want to refer to the cannon, there was no gunpowder to fire at all for me. So to find a way, that was brilliant. And it was. I think Timber, he's so deceptively strong, Jack. and he would be the last person you'd expect to see getting ahead on the ball because he's small. He's smaller, isn't he? He's smaller than the rest of them, but the delivery's got to take half the credit for me. And Timber also has, great connection. And mate, to be fair to the players, that did hit my heart, the way they were celebrating, because I think they were relieved as well as the crowd. But why can they not lift themselves from this? Why cannot they kill off games? When we went 1-0 up, when we take the lead, why do we take the foot off the gas and sit back? It's almost as if, that's good enough. How many times have you said it in the past? I remember 2 games, Jack, you said Saka did his bit and then everyone just seems to just take the foot off the gas because we think it's enough. I think that is applicable to early in the season where we were not conceding anything. We went through a spate of games, Jack, where we didn't even allow a shot on target. Do you remember? We were breaking records. So yes, I even said to you, it's the first time I've actually felt comfortable with a 1-0 lead. In a podcast a few months ago, I said before, do you remember we used to go 2-0 up or 3-0 up? We'll think, still not enough. But because our defence was so solid and so good, we felt comfortable. But that's not the case at the moment. As you quite rightly said, all of those records are now going. We are now leaking goals. So we have to then think, well, what do? We've gotten ahead in this game. We have to just kill the game off. We are not doing it. That's the mindset that's worrying me, Jack. We talk about mentality and mindset. We're not killing games off. But look, I know I'm being negative. Goal, fantastic. 2-1 up. It's back in our hands.
Yeah, I don't know what they're complaining about. I mean, I didn't celebrate it because I saw them immediately sprint to the refs and I was like, there's something big here. And when I watch it back, there's absolutely nothing. There's absolutely nothing.
The goalkeeper's not fouled at all.
I think it's his own player that's the closest to him.
Yeah, but he's rubbish in the
he's a flappiest of flapping biscuit risk, and he all over the place. He gets bumped by his own player who's just standing there hugging William Saliba. And William Saliba's clever with this because he's never our runner. He's always the guy that basically stands still, and if the ball doesn't come near him, all he makes sure he does is he makes sure the player that's marking him doesn't get to the ball. He's going to occupy that player. And Timber does this to a large degree as well. All of their players are not watching the ball. They're watching our players because they're so scared about where they're going to move. I don't love talking about the media, but the media narrative after we've scored a couple of set-piece goals is absolutely predictable and disgraceful. Like, I watch all of the post-game stuff after wins because, let's be honest, it's funny. And I watch it just to see, largely northern ex-Man U players get upset. But when you've got, people, Peter Schmeichel, all these players, people coming out and just deciding now again is the moment to talk about whether these type of set pieces is really, warranted in football. And I think the referee needs to do something. I'm like, that's fine, but you better talk about that every time there's a set piece goal. Because what I find very interesting is when Liverpool scored 3 or 4 set pieces yesterday, they were lauded as the new set piece kings of this year because they've scored so many in January and February. But when we do it, I think some of the laws need to be changed. And I'm like, hold on a minute. We're not doing anything different to anybody else on a set piece. The only thing we're doing different is we score more from them. To argue that we're doing something physically different, like fouling or this, that and the other, is absolute nonsense. And everyone knows it's nonsense. They know all of this stuff like grappling in the box and things like that has existed standing on the goalkeeper for generations. There is nothing new about it. The only thing that's new about set pieces at the top end of this league at the moment is people are needing to use them more. And whereas set pieces used to be sort of a lower level team thing where they would go, can we get a set piece here to get fine? That's going to be our best way to get, score against a big team. Now, top teams have decided that it's actually really important to focus on, and we were the first top team to do it. Let's be honest, we were the first top team to go, we need someone in, we need to do it, and everyone else is annoyed about it. Everyone else will get there. They're all getting their set piece coaches in now and learning about it, and I agree, I don't think it will be as effective in years to come, but currently there is nothing that we're doing differently than anyone else other than the fact we're more effective from them. But and that, nothing. And it's it's selectively getting discussed when we score and win games from it. And then when we don't, last week against Tottenham, you wouldn't have heard a set-piece conversation anywhere about any. It just doesn't happen. But when we do it, the whole media out landscape, there'll be discussions on Sky Sport all week about, whether this is this football. Should this be allowed? What law changes can we do next year to prevent it?
Unbelievable.
And even if you do it next year, absolutely fine. But that's not. There's nothing different here that we're seeing. Absolutely nothing different. Nothing.
Very quickly, I'm so glad you said that bit about other teams are now getting into cottoning on and thinking, right, we're going to start doing it now. Timber, because I don't know whether you get this coverage. He was interviewed after the game. Well, it was actually Saliba, but Timber kind of walked into on the interview, so they spoke to Timber as well, and he said something brilliant, which I loved him for. He said because they were talking about set pieces. He goes, yeah, it was a game of set pieces because both teams. Because he goes, other teams are now doing the same thing now, and they're getting a bit better at it. He goes, that's really interesting, isn't it? And I think the way he said that's really interesting, isn't it? He's having a dig at the media, exactly what you were just talking about there.
Yeah.
So I just found that funny. I thought you brought it up, and I thought the first thing that came to my mind is what Timber said. And good on you, Timber, because yes, you said it really well. I love that. Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. So 2-1, Neil. I mean, the red card comes, and the one thing I'll say about the ref, whilst I think maybe we got away with one in the first half in terms of the handball, thought the ref was dreadful in their favour in the second half. The amount of counter-attacks he stopped for us, largely to not do anything, by the way. There is no rule that says you can't let play go on and then retrospectively come back and call the yellow card. You've done it to plenty of our players in the past. There is no rule that says you can't do that. But he stopped about 3-on-2 attacks from us, and only. Well, obviously one of them was a red card. Again, even that second yellow, you can call that back after we finished the play. He was through. There was 2 players in the box. Let the play run through. And then go back and go, you fouled him.
That was outrageous.
He was lucky to get up because he wanted to continue playing. That was the honesty in Martinelli's game. But he also knew it was a big chance, big moment. And you can call that back. There was worse ones where they were stopping David Raya throwing the ball, and he just blew up. And then he threw the ball, and he blew up. Didn't book the player.
Oh, yeah.
Free kick here. Advantage you, boys. I'd rather 50 yards up the pitch. Just take a free kick from your own box. Cheers, yeah? Mate. And I was like, hold on a minute here. This isn't right. You're stopping us attacking. So that was dodgy. Really dodgy, I thought, from the ref. But he gets the red card, right? Neto off again. 9 red cards, is it, for them in the season? Absolutely pathetic. Neto, good to see that from Neto, because he's a bit of a loudmouth, Neto. He had a little bit of moment in the first game with Hincapié, and he was in Hincapié's pocket this game, to be honest, because I don't remember him doing anything. I mean, after that, Neil, we have a little moment where Eze has a good chance. Kai Havertz comes on, makes a difference for me. To be honest, he's just a breath of fresh air because he can hold the ball up, and Yoker is so poor in the second half, holding the ball up. And Havertz, his touch is better, and his linking play better for me. Eze could score. It's a decent save that Sanchez makes. Yeah. And then, this moment comes where it doesn't matter if they have 10 men or 9 men or 11 men, that we're going to get nervous towards the end of the game, and we did. And at that moment, it's really, we're just keeping our fingers crossed and praying. But it's really David Raya in it, because he makes that unbelievable save from the Garnacho cross.
Yes,
which he can't move until after Pedro's and Gabriel have attacked the ball, so he has to wait. That's just great agility from Raya. I know he's not the biggest, but he's definitely the most agile, fittest goalkeeper in the league. And then obviously the offside, the heart in mouth moment offside, which is a great save from Raya again. Double save, yeah. And but at that point, when it went in, I mean, I'm sure. Have you seen the videos of Chelsea fans celebrating that goal? Because it is funniest. But I don't know if I sent it. Did I send it? I don't know if I did.
You may have done. Sorry.
It is the funniest 90 seconds I think I've had
I need to watch it then.
Since Tottenham's beating Tottenham last week. It was absolutely hilarious. They're all on TV running around the studio.
You live for this stuff.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic to watch these idiots.
Enjoy this more than the football itself. It's
brilliant. Do you know what? And I know I've got friends because they all hate Arsenal. that do this themselves. They all get together and they sit and watch Arsenal. They don't meet up to watch their own team, but they sit to watch Arsenal because they'll get more out of it. I got Liverpool fans absolutely livid that goal didn't go. They didn't get called off onside, which is odd because we did Liverpool a huge favour here. We stopped you being in the Europa League from beating Chelsea.
Yeah.
I said to them all, I said, why aren't you thanking me? You should be thanking me. I said, you should be delighted with that win. We're stopping you going in the Europa League with the most expensive squad that would be in the Europa League in history. I said, you should be texting me thanks and sending me flowers and all that. Nothing. Nothing. All of them. Nothing. All just upset that we won the game. But Neil, that last 5-10 minutes, David Raya, brilliant. The rest of the team, don't know what you're doing.
I just don't know what to say about him. I mean, it's just going on, coming straight back off that Richarlison one where he was like Mr. Bendy, because I don't know how he's got that kind of elasticity in his body to do that. And then in this game, throughout, Jack, the corners, that one where he just kind of, all of a sudden, I remember, right, so I watched Match of the Day and then I analysed it. I think this is the Rice one where we talked about the handball. And they do an angle where it's from behind the players, vertical on, but, right on the line, adjacent, or parallel to the byline, basically.
Yeah, so you can see it.
And exactly. And there's one point where the ball's coming in, because there's such a congregation and a melee of players, you can't even see Raya. You can't even see him because it's just not visible because there's so many players around him, Arsenal players and Chelsea players. And then all of a sudden, when that ball is deflected off Rice's elbow, all you see is this arm come out and grab the ball and make it deviate away from goal. It is unbelievable. Yes, you're right, it leads to the goal anyway, but if you just take that moment in time, that in itself is a world-class save. Then you've got the other one. There's another one that I think you mentioned. It's off the corner, another corner. And all right, this was maybe a little bit easier as he gets his body and he gets both hands on it. But it's still, at that point for the Chelsea player, it's almost an open goal. Half of the goal is open. And he just is, able to move at the right time to make that save. That I thought that was actually another good save. I wouldn't say it was a world-class save, but it was another good save given the context of the game and the pressure that we were under. Then you got the one where, as you said, he had to let Gabriel and their attacker finish their move. So it's caught at the last minute. It was kind of I don't know what you call that ball in, but it wasn't quite a cross. It wasn't quite a shot, but it was very dangerous. And then the way it came in,
shot,
it cross-come shot. That's it. That's what I'm looking for. Cross-come shot. And it was definitely heading in because I thought initially...
I remember Zola scoring one. I don't know why it came into my head when it happened, but I remember years back Zola scoring one like exactly the same as that against us. And I don't know if it was Lehmann or Seaman or Almunia in goal. I can't even remember. Yeah. But we've never had a goalkeeper that agile. Sorry, Karen.
No.
So agile.
No. Oh, my God, because I didn't realise how good it was until I saw the replay. And it was so damn good. So that's another one. And then didn't he have another one where... So this is the one I forgot. Oh God, was this in the first half or was it the second half where the shot was made? I didn't think it was a great shot, but again, looking at the replay, it was. No, I didn't think the save was that great, but he dives to his right.
That's Enzo Fernandez's one, yeah.
Yeah, and he gets a hand to it.
That's the one that early in the second half, yeah.
Yeah, that was a fabulous save as well. So that's another one there. And then you get the one at the end, at the death. Yeah. And he doesn't know it's offside, does he?
No.
He doesn't know it's offside. His first is one where he actually leaps up high in the air, doesn't he? And he gets a hand to it. That's what causes it to go back. And then somehow he goes, again, it's almost like the Richarlison moment. This double save, he manages to contort his body, get behind it, and again push the ball away. Unfortunately, it doesn't land in a great place and the ball goes in the net. But thankfully, it was offside. But he doesn't know that. I cannot express how much that man alone deserves everything for that result. It's him. Yeah. And I think he got man of the match. I don't know.
He had to. No, Gabriel got it.
Are you really?
I think Gabriel got it. I could have.
Wow.
No, he didn't. No. Hold on.
Sure.
Who got? Maybe I'm thinking of another game.
I know on BBC Sport they gave it to Raya. On BBC Sport they gave it to Raya, but I don't know who actually got it.
Yeah, who got the Premier League man of the match?
Apologies for not knowing that, but I just don't know.
Yep, Gabriel got it.
He got the official man of the match.
Amazing that, because I don't think. He wasn't bad, but
no, but
I don't think it was definitely.
Well, if they were going to give it to an outfield defender, it should have been Nkapia then. But maybe because of it, they're
no own goal, they're not going to give it. He'll get marked down on everyone just for the own goal. But I think he was our best defender.
No, I don't agree with that.
Timber because he scored, but
I don't agree with the man of the match. I think he should have been Bray all day long.
One point I want. I mean, obviously we hope Declan Rice is okay. Great win, but. Yeah, have to be better in the performance. But where I said Eminem, where I think it's, in terms of the nervousness, his manager and mentality. I think the mentality thing's kind of clear in terms of when we look at what the squad is and winners in the squad. But I felt it was a really, despite the fact I wanted to see Norgard more, when Rice came off, I don't understand why he didn't just put Havertz on then. Why don't you they're down to 10 men at the point Rice comes off. They're down to 10 men, but you're bringing on a defensive midfielder for what is an attacking midfielder when they're down to 10 men. Why don't you just bring Havertz on for Rice? And then when you want to take Gyökeres off, bring Jesus on. They are down to 10 men. Bring your attacking players on that are more technically secure on the ball. And I don't think Norgard and Zubimendi particularly worked very well together in this game. I don't think it really helped us that much. And it's always, maybe it's hindsight, but I did think at the time, I was like, they're down. I know you brought Gyökeres off at the same time, but just do a Havertz Jesus swap. They're down to 10, play on the front foot, you're 2-1 up, go get the third. It's because you avoid this last 5-10 minutes.
Correct.
Nervousness when you push to get the third, because I think when they're down, if they were down 11 men, I would have been a bit more understanding of it, but 10, no. But Neil, brilliant. Raya deserved the man of the match, without doubt. For me and you, he's the man of the match. On to the next one, which is Wednesday, Brighton away. What are your predictions for that? And then I think, I'm just checking the fixture list, I think it's the Mansfield FA Cup game, isn't it, after that?
I think so, yeah.
At the weekend. So we'll do predictions for Brighton away and then Mansfield away as well in the FA Cup 5th round.
It goes without saying we're going to have to improve our performance. It doesn't matter if it's Brighton, there's still... Look, any team can hurt us in the league. Any team can hurt anyone else in the league. So it's not an easy game. I'll always say that for any prediction. But I think we've held ourselves well in away games this season, pretty much, Jack. Overall, I think we've done not too bad. Better. I feel more comfortable away than at home. Let's put it that way. Don't know why, but I do. So I'm going to go for I'm hoping we've conceded 2 goals actually in the last 2 games. So I want a quick clean sheet. I'm going to go for a stupid prediction I gave last time. I'm going to go for a sensible 2-0. I'm going to go for 2-0. No, do you know what? I'm going to do a very anti-nil. I'm going 1-0. 1-0 against Brighton, and I'm going to say, I wonder if he plays. This will be interesting. I'm going to say 1-0 Havertz. That's Brighton.
Havertz.
And then Mansfield, again, it's away. You never know with these smaller leagues. They're going to be so up for it. Camera crews, film crews, they're going to be so up for it. I think it might be a tricky first 20, 25 minutes. But I think in the end of the day, I think the fitness, the quality will show through. I think there'll be changes as well. Well, I hope they are.
Yeah, there's got to be. There's got to be some. Get Dowman in there. At
least 4 or 5. At least 4 or 5, if not more. But we'll have some seniors in there still. I will go. Gosh, do you know what? I think they might sneak a goal. I'm going to go 3-1. And you know what? If he's playing, I'm going to say Dowman.
Nice. Well, I'll take those results. Yeah, Brighton are tricky. I mean, they love playing against us, Brighton. This manager does particularly, and they're a good footballing team. And I think they won against Forest yesterday. So they were, they had a good performance. They're sort of, around that mid-table point, but they could push for Europe, if they have a good run. So they definitely got something to play for. But I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. I'll go 2-1 Arsenal. Madueke. Because I think he's going to start Madueke. And I think he should start Madueke as well, actually, because I think he's got to rotate it a little bit. It's a quick turnaround. You know, we've got to, 3 or 4. Madueke, I think, should be one of the ones he didn't get on at all in this game or against Tottenham, I think. I don't. Oh no, he did get on against Tottenham.
No,
like
Tottenham
5-10 minutes because he was involved in the last goal.
The fourth goal.
But barely played in the last 2. So for me,
good shout. I'm
gonna go 2-1. Madueke, fingers crossed.
Okay.
And then Mansfield, I'll go. It's away, isn't it? I'll go 2-0.
Yeah.
I'll go 2-0. Jesus.
He could play. Oh yeah, he will. I think he will play. You're right.
Yeah, trying to think who would. Yeah, but I feel like he'd be a stand-in to play for sure. So,
can I quickly just say? I know we want to wrap up. That referee, the thing that he was doing by not allowing play to carry on, could have been costly, couldn't it? Now I just thought about it, because that Martinelli incident happened before that panic in the goal. With Brea's double save. So why the hell didn't he let Martinelli follow? Because we could have scored 3 then, put him 3-1 up, and he didn't. But he was doing that throughout the whole game, Jack. Like you said, I thought the referee was disgraceful. I thought the referee was disgraceful, and I thought our forwards were disgraceful, and I thought generally our team performance wasn't great at all. But
and Arteta was livid with it because at 2-1 he likes to do the sit off the ball thing, but he was really trying to break quickly on them at 2-1 because he knew they were pushing a little bit more, and we had 3 or 4 really big openings, and the refs, I think, stopped like 75%. He just stopped them.
But why is like now? It didn't really occur to me. But you've just highlighted the fact that these changes that he makes, they're very, very cautious. Again, he's so cautious with everything he does at times, and it's very frustrating, Jack. When we know that the team could be, we can take them.
Yeah, just not enough as well.
Just go for the jugular.
He changes Wright and Gyökeres out, but then he doesn't really make any other subs. And it's like, that Chelsea changed 5 players. I know they had 10 men, but they changed like 5 players out. I mean, we were looking, Eze was looking so tired. We know how Timber tires towards the end of games recently. So Mascara was there. Could you have brought Mascara on? Could you have brought Jason?
Good shout.
If everyone was playing, if all the players are playing so well, that's a different story. But none of those, you could have taken on for all those attackers in one clean swoop. So that's where I'm like frustrating. Against Tottenham, he's different. Playing so free flowing. Do you want to change this player when, etc. I do think we miss Odegaard. I mean, I don't necessarily think he needs to be starting every game, but his technical security at times is something I think we lack at moments in games. And I'm just like, we could do with him now. So even just to have him amongst the squad, I think he's just crucial. So hopefully he's fine. I don't know what's going on with him. So hopefully he's fine. But Neil, it's been a pleasure. We're at Purely Arsenal FP on Twitter, Purely Arsenal on YouTube. Please subscribe to us there, listen there. That would really help us out. And ad free, all that good stuff. And we will be back after the next 2, hopefully with similar results. Fingers crossed. Up the Arsenal.
Come on.
Thank you, Neil.